So hello class, let's start the topic, the last topic of the chapter first, that is corrosion and rancidity. Both the topic is actually related to the oxidation of the substance. Oxidation of the substance. Whenever the metals oxidizes and tarnished into the different substance, different color, they are called, they are said to be here. They are said to be corrosion. They are said to be corrosion. And when the food stuffs oxidize by the air, they are said to be a rancidity. Both are actually called oxidation. Both are called oxidation. So corrosion means a slow degradation of the metallic surface when they exposed to air and moisture. They react with the air, different gaseous molecules present in the air, in the presence of moisture, acid, bases, and impurities, and form a different oxides, sulfides, carbonates, sulfate, phosphates, sulfides. They are said to be a corrosion. So it is actually means, the word means is, the word stand here, the slow degradation of the metallic surface. You can define the slow degradation of metallic surface in the presence of air and moisture. That is a simple definition in one line. Let's discuss about how the different metals actually oxidize in the presence of air. For example, as you asked about magnesium, aluminum, iron, copper, silver, these are some examples of the corrosion you can see, in which at least one example given in your book. These are the common example of corrosion. These are the common example of corrosion where magnesium corroded in the presence of oxygen form a dull white surface of magnesium oxide. Dull white. The magnesium is a bright shiny silver color, but magnesium oxide is a dull white color. So whenever magnesium even become a dull, dirty white, that is called magnesium oxide because of the reaction of magnesium even with the presence of oxygen. Aluminium also having a shiny silver color, but due to exposing the air, it forms aluminium oxide. It forms aluminium oxide on the surface of aluminium that will prevent aluminium to further reaction. Aluminium become inert and in the presence of atmosphere because of the aluminium oxide. Iron combined with oxygen in the presence of some water molecule to form a reddish brown color substance called rust. The undefined number of molecules of water called X molecules. This is called rust. The articles of copper turns reddish brown first, and in the long exposed to the air and atmosphere turns into green color. This is because of these two reactions. Look at the reaction. The first, the formation of copper oxide, the cupric oxide, the reddish brown color, which combined with water and carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and turns into turns into a complex molecule, a complex compound called copper hydroxide and copper carbonate, green in color. The substance is green in color. So if you have any time seen the copper materials, copper articles turns into green, this is because of this series of the reaction which exposed to the air and moisture. Silver articles, ornaments of silver, actually they turns into a blackish color, a black, because of the formation of silver sulfide in the presence of hydrogen sulfide gas from the atmosphere. These are the common method of corrosion. You can see the different metals like magnesium, aluminium, iron, copper and silver, how they get tarnished, how they form oxides or sulfides or carbonates or hydroxides because of the presence of some air like oxygen, moisture in some cases, carbon dioxide in this case and hydrogen sulfide in this case. This is all about the corrosion, what you have to be study in your level. Don't think, sir, some of the reactions are not given. All the reactions from your level only. All the reactions are from your level only. But in your book NCERT, this reaction is actually importantly given because corrosion actually based on the rusting process. Rusting process. The reddish brown color, that is called rust here. That is called rust. Most of the articles around you, around us, actually made up of irons. Made up of iron. Many of the articles, apparatus, machines, generally made up of iron, and that's why the process of rusting is very common around us. The process of rusting is very common, and that's why whenever we are studying corrosion, we are actually studying about the rusting process of rusting. How we can prevent the iron to be a rust. That's why this reaction is importantly given in your syllabus. So iron. So first note down all these reactions and then we'll discuss about the method of prevention. The method of prevention. It's a very easy, no? It's a very easy. Methods of prevention means how you can cut the metallic surface to expose in air or to expose in the water, atmospheric water, that is called moisture. If you can cut the metallic surface to expose in the air and moisture, the surface will not be tarnished. The surface will not be corroded. And this is simple process. This is a very simple process. The first process is painting. Just apply a paint on the surface of metals. Apply a surface word miss ho gaya. So painting, applying paint on the surface, that is the first case. You can prevent the rusting process, especially I am talking about rusting. Prevention of corrosion of iron to be a rust. The first process is to apply a paint. You can apply a grease, oiling, to apply oil, oiling, greasing, painting. This is a common mechanical method. This is called mechanical barrier. There are actually two different types of barrier available that will prevent iron from rusting. That is called mechanical barrier. Another is called chemical barrier. Mechanical barrier means to apply oil, grease and paint. And chemical barrier is to apply some different metallic or elements over the surface of the iron. And for that, we are having some process called anodizing. Galvanization. Alloy formation. These are called a chemical barrier. Anodizing means the metals must be taken at the anode and the metal which should be coated on the surface of iron must be taken as at the anode, that cathode. So migration of the metallic ions that should be coated on the iron, they migrate from the cathode to anode. They migrate from the cathode to anode. So by the electroplating method, electroplating and anodizing, there is actually no any difference. When we are polishing the iron articles by tin, we are just called anodizing. But it is also called electroplating when we polishing the metallic surface, iron metallic surface by the use of nickel, chromium, cobalt also. Cobalt, nickel, chromium, and cobalt. Actually, when you see the shiny color, a shiny silver color of the iron, this is because of the electroplating of nickel, like handles of bicycles. The handles of bicycle is actually we are using the electroplating of nickel over the surface of iron. That will prevent the iron articles, iron handles from the rusting. Galvanization means electroplating of zinc. Electroplating of zinc over the surface of iron is called galvanization. Electroplating of tin and other reactive metals over the surface of iron called anodizing. Electroplating of nickel and chromium and cobalt and other reactive metals are generally called electroplating only. And alloy formation. Alloy is a homogeneous mixture of iron with different metals or non-metals. For example, stainless steel. Stain means rust. Stain means dag, dabba. That is called rust actually. So stainless steel is actually an alloy of iron with carbon mixing with a small amount of nickel and chromium. Listen carefully. When iron homogeneously mixed with carbon only, they are called steel, a general steel. But when iron homogeneously mixed with that carbon along with presence of nickel or chromium, they are called stainless steel, which increase the tensile strength, power, strength, and also prevent from the rusting. This is called general prevention of the rusting process. General prevention. This is all about the first topic, corrosion. Second topic is rancidity. Actually, the foodstuffs which contains fat or oil generally combine with atmospheric oxygen easily and become a rancid. That means having a foul smell and bad taste. This is because of the reaction of oxygen from the atmospheric air to the foodstuffs containing fats and oils, like butter. What you take on the bread, butters, if that butter exposed to the atmospheric air, if we are not kept the butter in the refrigerators and we just left outside, so after 1 or 2 days, that butter will be spoiled because of the rancidity process. Same way, the foodstuffs like what you call as chips, kurkures, they are actually rancid because of the same process, and that's why we actually filled that chips. We just filled that chips in airtight packets and also filled inside the packets the one important gas that is called nitrogen. Nitrogen gas. Actually, nitrogen gas is inert at room temperature and doesn't react with the foodstuffs like fats and oils. So nitrogen gas prevent the foodstuffs from rancidity process. So this is the simple process of oxidation of fats and oils present in the foodstuffs. Rancidity process, and we can prevent rancidity by just using some gaseous molecules or substance which slow down the process of rancidity or just stop the process of rancidity, like nitrogen gas, like airtight packets, like refrigeration and airtight packets actually slow down the process of rancidity. But filling up nitrogen gas prevent the rancidity. Same way, I also have one very important antioxidant. Antioxidants means the substance which prevent from the oxidation process. The substance which prevent from the oxidation process called antioxidants. The substance which prevent from the oxidation of foodstuffs called antioxidants. So nitrogen is also called antioxidant, and same way inside our body, which is also made up of fat, biologically we prevented the fat materials inside our body because we continuously taking air from the outside. So we are having a vitamin E, vitamin C and carotenoids. These are the common antioxidants present inside the body that will prevent oxidation of fat material of the body areas from the oxygen. And these are vitamin C, vitamin E and carotenoids. Rather than one more important antioxidant we are using in the very importantly in the food packets, that is called BHA. That is called BHA. Anyone knowing the full form of BHA? The very important antioxidant commonly used in food packets other than nitrogen gas. Anyone? The full form is butylated hydroxyanisole. Butylated hydroxyanisole. The full form of that BHA is butylated hydroxyanisole. This is a very common antioxidant used in foodstuffs other than nitrogen gas. Anisole. This is the organic molecule that easily prevent the foodstuffs from rancidity process like nitrogen gas. But this is a very important and commonly used in the food packets. This is all about the chapter, and chapter is finished. So I'm concluding my lecture here only. You can take a screenshot if you want. Fine. Thank you.